I love to this episode of Messages from Heaven. This week has been, in the U.S., a very big week. This has been a palpable energy week, and so I have taken some time to really lean in with God, to really lean in with my angels and guides in how to step in to an area that feels, for my body, completely uncomfortable. And maybe you are here too. So I wanted to come on to this podcast during my walk, during my morning walk, so I could be in nature and be in my zone of comfort and clarity to support you and to give you what God gave me this week. So for me, being this highly sensitive human being, as I came into this world, really dialed in, and I developed a belief system that confrontation was safe. Having my own truth, knowing things that I knew, and then having the experience of actually being told, no, that's wrong, or here's the right belief system, or I never felt that I was really seen for who I am. And this isn't a blame. This isn't to say like anything about my family, because I love and adore them. It has to be like the assigned meaning that I gave to the things that I could sense. Because as an extrasensory person, you're constantly resourcing the outside world to monitor how you feel on the inside. And that's a whole nother podcast. So when you learn to develop your heavenly senses, which is what I teach in my God-based medium method course, you learn to resource from within, from heaven. You turn your senses into the way that you can navigate life in a higher perspective, rather than leading your life from monitoring, am I safe here? Do I belong here? Being really overly on all the time, and then making decisions based on your nervous system's response to, I'm not safe. Let me shut down. That's not my truth. Let me shut down. That doesn't feel comfortable. It feels like they're going to yell at me. Let me not tell my truth. So you learn to really protect yourself. And so in that zone, I came up with this thing. I just didn't want to deal with confrontation. I didn't ever want to be exposed. And that's what it felt like, me being really exposed in an area where I was giving an opinion about what I believe, giving my truth, giving my belief system to another person to hold, or to wait for them to tell me something about my belief system was wrong. And so that comes into play when we come into the political arena. I never have felt safe talking about politics and my belief system. So here on the other side of this election, which has been very uncomfortable as this, sensitive soul, to watch and witness people falling apart, to witness people gloating, to witness both sides of the field, no matter where you land, really not being in respect or unity with compassion for the other people, for the people that may be opposing to your internal belief system. I found it really, really upsetting to me and in my nervous system and in my body that all of this hate continues to be sludged around. And in my view, in how I have seen it and what I've talked with my angels about, is the control of the narratives that have created the Great Divide, and the fear that goes along in holding that narrative, whatever side you're on, to be like, this is it. This is the only truth. This is the only truth. And that's never the case, right? So I tapped in with God this morning. I leaned in and I'm like, God, what do you want us to know? Like, what do you want us to know today? And he said to me, Jeannie, I have plans for you. My plans are so good. And I was like, great. Like, this is what we need to hear, that God's plans for us are for us to succeed. God's plans are for you so that you can take a step forward out of the pain and the division for a semblance of truth to come into your body. As we are human beings, and we're not supposed to, all be on the same page and have the same belief system, because this is how the world goes around, and it's how things get done. Great things come from great pain. Great actions are taken from when God moves through you, and that's how, really, that's how things have changed in our world, right? Like, things have healed because something was really wrong with a system, and then someone stepped in and created something new and vibrant, and we're led by God. So we can use saints as kind of like a forefront right here. Mother Teresa, she taught us about humility and humanity. She taught us about great love and a release of ego, a release of like our own desire to feel good and be happy, whatever. She taught us about sacrifice. She taught us about another human's right to have love, no matter where they were, no matter what their belief system or religion, no matter no matter the circumstance. She showed us that love knows no boundaries. And so what I want to invite us in today is, if love knows no boundaries and you are innately loved, how can you take your power back? How can you come back into your body to cultivate a sense of safety, a sense of peace, a sense of humility, a sense of grace? How can you alone come into a place of unity and then step out into the world? Because what happens when we are in pain and we aren't healing from within and we aren't experiencing what we actually are desiring in the world inward, then it shows up outward. So we can manifest the great change. This is the power. This is the truth. And for some, they feel like they manifested this new president. And for some, they feel like God hasn't heard them and has denied them. How can we come together to see that we come from a place truly of love in our own hearts, that our belief systems are just different, that our needs are being met in different ways, instead of oppressing each other, calling each other, names? How do we stop and end that so that we can understand that love can prevail no matter what the outcome is? We don't have to base our truth, our life, on an election. We don't have to base our reality on one outcome. It can be the medicine for the great change that is needed. That's all I have. Like, that's what I feel. It can be the fuel, it can be the change that has been needed in our world, in our country. So today, what is God calling you into? Is God calling you into softening, to coming into a place of love and respect for your fellow human? Is he calling you into yourself to dive in, to be still, to feel his love, to be filled up, to feel what you need to feel, but resource back from within, to come in that place of, I am not alone. God did not abandon me. Is it a place to come in and say, how can I be at peace? How can I be a peacemaker? How can I extend an arm. The Bible tells us all of the things about when we judge. It tells us about when we fear. So I think there's like 300, uh, there's over 300 times it mentions in the Bible, do not fear. Or for God has, do not fear. Do not let fear come into our lives, into our storylines, into our relationships. And it does. It sneaks in and it causes great division. Great division because fear wants separation. Fear can't have unity, right? Evil doesn't want that. Doesn't want peace and a semblance of togetherness, no matter what. I come from a world where seeing, feeling, my full on body senses can commune with the heavenly realm, with the hierarchy of angels, with Jesus and Mother Mary. And at the same time, I can see dark energy here on earth. And I know a lot of you have that ability as well. You have had shadow energy, you have witnessed scary things in your dreams, and some have had really peaceful, beautiful experiences of their loved ones coming to them. We're all the same, right? And it's a matter of our heart, it's a matter of our connection, it's a matter of where our line in the sand is. And I mean this really just so lovingly. Like, if you are oppressing your gift because of fear, I want to invite you to call on God. I want you to place this beautiful light around you and announce only that which is of God can come to me. Make that line in the sand. Make that stand. Turn your senses to heaven and turn off the noise of the world, which is trying to create more chaos. Fear is trying to make more separation so the walls come crumbling. So the semblance of connection, of true love, are no longer there. True unity comes from respect of you and respect of another human being, like Mother Teresa. She respected the calling of God. She leaned in. Was it easy? No. If you read Mother Teresa's story, you know it was not easy for her. You know shadow energy came to her. Dark energy tried to stop her. It tried to twist her up and break her down. And she kept leaning in with prayer. She over and over recommitted herself to love. Our journeys are not meant to be easy. They're meant to be impactful. They're meant to be truthful. They're meant to heal the parts of us and the parts of our lineage that no longer need to be part of earth. That's how we bring peace here. That's how we bring grace and love back. By continuing to commit and not to oppress our own gifts and our own truth, but to be the source of love. So we can spiritually bypass ourselves. I lived in a place like this for a long time. And I know probably you know what I mean. Where oppressing your truth looks like second guessing yourself. Oppressing your truth is denying yourself access to the healing that you need. And it's putting other people first all the time. It's putting others' needs before you. It's staying in the space of not speaking your truth from a place of compassion, right? Great leaders speak from a place of compassion. They don't speak from a place of sides, of division. They speak from inclusion. How do we come together in a time when it feels like we're not? How do we come together when our hearts are broken? How do we come together when we don't really understand why things are the way they are? How do we come together when we only believe that our truth, what we see as truth, is the only way? So we have to put it down. I believe we have to put down what we think we know and turn back to God. We have to turn to prayer. We have to take back our truth and come into that space of surrender. And it's like, what will you have me do here, God? How will you have me show up? How will you have me bring people together and not create more division? We have to do our internal work ourselves. We have to lean into, how am I showing up for myself? Am I in the truthfulness of love? Am I allowing myself enough time to grieve or enough time to love those who are grieving? If we can't be in the place of love, then we're going to create more separation. I believe fully in my heart, when we understand that we have these senses for a reason. Our senses are our ability to navigate this world, to come into our body, to make a semblance of our own truth and our own understanding of things based on our own nervous system, based on our own experiences. And when we heal and we understand those senses, when we heal the things that are hurting our hearts and replaying over and over, when we do that clearing of energy and we raise our frequency into the heavenly realm and dial our senses into heaven to resource what is real and true with God, not with our own understanding, well, that's when people around us heal. That's when our successes are in God's hands. And it's like, yes, it's easy. It's not hard. And God calls us into action from this place. So my mediumship course, God-based medium, isn't about just you becoming a medium or having the ability to read people. It is about you first. It is about, how do I function in the world with these senses, and how can I make a difference in the role that God called me into, right? Maybe it is as a healer, maybe it is as a medium, maybe as a teacher. You're all healers no matter what your profession. In the profession that you're in, if you are able to source from heaven with your senses, then the people around you are going to feel, they're going to be inspired, and it's going to bring more love, and more love into our world. So I believe this is a time of great action, not a time of passive sitting back and waiting and denying. This is a time of, God is calling us forward. He's called us forward. Can you stand up? Can you lean in? Can you be a little uncomfortable and know that He has you? And that's where I'm going to leave you today. I'm going to leave you right there. If you're interested in my God-based medium method course, it's a self-study. The link is going to be below. If you are interested in working with me in my mastery, which is my place where I take you on the fullest journey possible into the heavenly realm, expanding your senses, expanding your ability. And this is for the woman who has an understanding that her work in this world is needed. This is for the woman who knows that her abilities are God-given and she's willing to step in. This is a mastermind. It is a connective place. This is a mentorship that isn't available in the outside world. And how do I know? Because when I was stepping into my calling and I said, God, please bring me a mentor, and He's like, I need you to go through this journey. I've built this, I've been running this business this program for 11 years, this particular program. And it has helped hundreds of women step into a new role in their business, in their lives, to even create something that they didn't even think was possible. They just had a glimpse of it. And I know it can do the same for you. It's got a little windy out here, so it's noisy. If you're interested in the mastery, I'm going to leave the link for my for you to book a call with, because we really need to sit down together and go through a few things. and be in each other's energy. And I can give you the details, but more importantly, I can lean in and show you where God is leading you. And my promise to you is He's not abandoned you. God is not leaving you alone. So if you feel like something is off, something is wrong, and you need something more, let's step in together. Let's lean in together. All right, my beautiful soul. I hope that this inspires you, reminds you that you have everything that you need within you, and you are so loved. So, have a beautiful, blessed